What we have been doing since 2007 is that we're working with companies to be more responsible. So we help them adopt more responsible management approaches. On one hand, we're working with NGOs to become more transparent about their activities. So what we do is we help them maximize their social impacts and then have their social impact reports. And then we also work with social enterprises like you do in goodbiz. There we work with social enterprises in terms of social impact, in terms of business plan modeling, and just to help them be more impactful. So what you do as a social enterprise usually is that ideally you have to consider your impacts from very beginning. So if you want to found a social business, then from the very beginning when you're trying to craft your model, you also have to keep in mind that you will have a social impact and then plan your activities in line with this. We call this impact management thinking approach actually. So it's not always about measuring, but it's always about stakeholders, to take the stakeholders as priority. So you always involve stakeholders when you're developing your model or solution to this problem you want to solve as a social enterprise. You talk with your stakeholders and understand what their experience, not only from your point of view, but also from stakeholders' point of view, what's the problem they're facing. Actually, in the middle of social impact management is the stakeholders from our perspectives, and there are other methods, of course. You can have a theory of change, which is actually a strategic planning technique from the very beginning. You can use stakeholder outcome maps, so it also centers stakeholders in the in the process of this impact management. There is a technique called SROI, social return on investment, so you can follow up that template. So these are the tools, but the most important thing is that you always keep in mind that you have an impact, and then you always have to ask your stakeholders what their experiences once you intervene with your services or products, what have changed in their lives. They always have to keep in mind that there are two, they have to keep balance between social value created and then financial value created. So that, because if there is more financial value than the social value, the social enterprise might become more commercial. There can be a shift in mission maybe, but there should always be, and if there is more social value than the financial value, then it might not be sustainable at the end. So the balance is very important. That's why investors, who are willing to take risks a bit, might be interested in the sector. The risks I mean here is the financial risk, but in terms of characteristics, investors who want to change something in the society are very welcome in the field. So they can have returns on their investment, maybe not as much as in the commercial sector, but they will also have changed the world with their investment. As Mikado, we work with both sides. We work with the demand and the supply side. For the social enterprises, we help them build their capacities in terms of getting ready for investment. What does getting ready for investment mean is that they have to have a great business plan, they have to have great strategic planning, and then good communication strategies, or they must have very good social impact management process. So we help them actually to build their capacities on these issues. Meanwhile, we also work with financial sector who are not yet impact investors themselves because they don't know the pipeline, as the sector is very new. And when you go and talk them about social enterprises, their point of view is, they perceive this social sector like an NGO sector. So we're trying to shift this thinking and then try to help them understand that social businesses can make profit and should make profit, because that's how they can contribute to the society more and then maximize their impact, actually. So we're trying to help the financial sector understand that social business is also a business, it's not charity. Invest in social businesses and try to maximize your social impact.